I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for king and 9 I'm on a pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art isn't art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Something about that song just absolutely, and this is where demonetization takes effect, it absolutely fucking gets me hyped. Like, I just want to go out into the street. I want to streak. I want to go kick open the doors to the local Applebee's. I want to dance on a bar naked. Maybe not. No, yes, I want to dance on a bar naked at Applebee's in front of like all the 40s crowd, all the 40-year-old moms. What do they call them? MILFs? Is that, I could say that. Anyways, it's Wednesday night. It's another wonderful Wednesday night. We have a 99.967% male audience. So whatever I say here possibly couldn't offend you. I want to thank you all for joining me this wonderful evening. We've got a wonderful show planned for you. We've got a special guest. I'm already one beer in, and tonight we are drinking Florida Orange IPA. This is the first time I'm trying this from a wonderful brewery out here in St. Pete. Brewery is a brewery. Anyways, it's Three Daughters Brewing. God, I wish I focused on my speech impediment a little bit more when I was in school. Maybe not. It's like a trademark. All right, let's go ahead and bring in my esteemed colleague and host. I pay him very good money to be on this show every single week. That's a lie. I pay him nothing. Eddie Nunez.
What's up, Mr. OriginaldoBo?
What's going on, Eddie Money? How are you tonight? Or wait, we're calling you Eddie the Lips. Eddie the Lips. Eddie the Lips. I got to keep up with all the things that we talk about. All the things, Eddie. All the things.
Yeah.
We've got a good show tonight.
We do.
We have got a great show. It's almost Christmas time. We have 1 week. Next week is our annual Christmas party. God, I'm sorry. I've drank a lot right now. Guys, if you already haven't, I want to see a bunch of flood the stream with lips for Eddie. Let Eddie know you appreciate those luscious, wonderful lips. Just flood it with the lips.
You're gonna have to
no super chats, just lips. I want to see all the lips.
You're gonna have to create a what do you call those? The special things that the members only have.
Yeah, they get the emojis. I'm gonna have it, but I'm gonna make one for you, Eddie. I'm gonna make one for you.
I feel special. Now talk to me about this holiday party. Is this like a staff holiday party?
Yeah, so it's like a staff. It's a staff holiday party. It's really casual. We're gonna do a Secret Santa for the audience, where I'm just going to give away a bunch of shit. Like nobody's going to know who's going to win it, because I'm not going to say pick me. I'm going to pick on members that I've seen have been members for they're in the brew crew. I know who they are, and then we're just going to give stuff away to them. and then we're gonna ship it. So that's how we're gonna. So that's gonna happen Wednesday. Wednesday night is gonna be a special drone brews, and we're gonna be having our holiday Christmas party. So that's gonna be pretty awesome.
I'm excited that I'm a member since day one. I can't wait.
No, you're now part of the staff. You're part of the staff. You can't. You're part of the staff.
So that means I get the bonus then. Can't wait for the
you
bonus.
get the bonus. Wow, look at all those lips, Eddie.
Wow,
look at all those lips. Like
crazy.
If you ever felt not loved, there you are, right there. There you are, right there. If anybody else saw this chat, they could be like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, drones and lips.
Drones and lips. So we've got a special guest tonight. And this is somebody who's just making rounds. And I feel like in order to bring him in, I have to give him a proper introduction. He's never actually been on the show, but he's been on the channel. We've done some videos together. I've been on his channel. And I've got a chance to meet this person in person while I was at Commercial UAV. And I'm going to get a chance to hang out with him again when I'm in Vegas. But this is a guy that I feel is probably as selfless as they come, is willing to do whatever it takes for not only the hobby, but the industry as a whole. And he has right now, whether he's intended it to be or not, one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube when it comes to drones. And he provides a shit ton of information. You know who I'm talking about, right, Eddie?
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about Billy Kyle. Stop. What? Come on.
No, pink and blue.
Mm-hmm. Pink and blue. He's got a name. You're a little closer. Who is it?
Is it Greg?
Is it Greg? It's Greg. He's a little pixelated.
Greg.
He's a little pixelated. But I want you to take note of this image. So what do you notice? What's happening here in his image right now, Eddie? Because it's fucking amazing. What's going on in his image?
We have some great color contrast here between the pink, the blue, and this yellow.
Yeah, but what do you see on the wall, Eddie?
Oh, we see a Dobo hologram in the back. Holy crap.
Isn't that amazing?
That is cool.
He made me a gobo. It's a Dobo.
Yeah.
It's a Dobo gobo on the wall of Greg's house. That's amazing. Greg's amazing. And he's got my shirt. Greg, how are you, man?
You're going to make me blush.
Well, I figure you needed a good introduction. And, like I said, I appreciate what you do. Sincerely, like I said, we got a chance to hang out in Vegas and I had an amazing time. I did too. And I think we made a lot of good connections. Some of the connections, I don't know if they remember they made connections, but we made good connections. And we're going to be in Vegas yet again for CES. And I am thinking that this year, and hear me out, because that's in the title. I have to say, hear me out. I'm thinking it's going to be a quiet year for drones.
I think it is. Looking at the list, I don't really see that many people out there for drones.
Yeah. And you know what's a good indicator that this CES is going to be different than all the other CESs is the prices of hotels. So as I go through right now, there is still vacancy where you can book a hotel, and you can book a hotel for relatively cheap. And previous years when we would go to Las Vegas, we would spend upwards to $500, $600 a night for a hotel on the strip. But right now you can get a hotel on the strip for like $115, which is insane.
That is insane. I see there's some comments about my audio being a little low, so I'm gonna switch here to different headphones.
It's coming in better now. It's coming in really good now.
Well, stand by.
Okay, we're standing by.
I think hotels being ultra low is an indicator of the traffic that you're seeing out there in Vegas.
Well, the problem is we have the virus, obviously, which is still lingering. And I think a lot of people associate when they go to CES, like they associate going to Vegas and they get sick. Like I will say the past 2 times that I have gone to CES, I have gotten sick. I've come back and we call it the CES flu. But it's a real thing, man. It's a real thing. Now, oddly enough, I go to Commercial UAV or something like that. I don't get sick. I never gotten sick. So,
well, hopefully that's not the case this time.
No, I hope not. I hope not. I think that, you know, with the very low attendance and all the restrictions, it's gonna be tough. But I think for the most part, a lot of the manufacturers that would have been in Vegas have already shown us all their cards, right?
Yep.
DJI is not going to be there. X Dynamics will be there, but they already showed us the Evolve 2, and we already know that it's, you know, it's not complete. So unless that they're bringing something a little bit more complete, that'll be awesome. Autel is going to be showing us the Nano, which they announced that back in September. Greg, what's your thoughts on that situation?
That's which situation is that the fact that it's not here yet, or the drone in itself?
Well, yeah, like the fact that they announced it back in September, they say a nanosecond, and now here we are. We're going to be in, you know, January basically, and it's not here.
I think they were trying to really get ahead of the Mavic 3 announcement to get some visibility, but I think it's just a really bad marketing strategy, quite frankly. I mean, we see DJI, you know, they do what Apple does. Apple does it so well. They have the device, they show it to you. An hour later, the store is open, you can buy it, and then you get it a couple of weeks later, or in the pandemic, you get it a couple of months later. But DJI seems to be getting a page from that book, but Hotel is not. So it's a little bit disappointing because we're rooting for them. I know you and I, you know, we talked to them at the show in Vegas in the past, and I know you're close to them as well. And we want to see competition, but it's like, come on, guys, kick it up a little bit.
So let's address this element too. A lot of people are talking about B&H refunding the pre-orders that were paid for on the Nano. So here's the deal. You're right. It was discontinued, but it's not discontinued. So they changed the SKU. They changed the SKU on the Nano. So the SKU that was provided to B&H, Adorama, and all these other manufacturers is different than the SKU that will be sold. So absolutely, they're refunding the SKUs because they're wrong. What they're going to end up shipping you won't match as far as the product numbers go. So it's not that it is not continue to being produced because we only have them in hand. It's the fact that the SKU is changing. So in turn, they are refunding the orders and you'll have to rebuy under the new SKU. That's just how B&H runs their system. Obviously, I would have thought like it would have made more sense just to, you know, send an email out and say, hey, customer, we know you had this on pre-order, but we're updating the SKU. Here is the updated product line instead of refunding it. But that's probably what they have as far as their system goes. So
I agree.
So, I mean, it's not that they don't have, they've already produced so many of these, you know, but they're the only company that I think is going to bring something really new to the table. Beyond that, I don't really know of anybody else that's going to be at CES. Unique's not going to be there. There's really nobody else. I think Skydio will be there this year.
Skydio, that's the only two I've seen. Skydio and Hotel is the only two I've seen some publicity they were going to be there. So I guess we'll spend a lot of time at these two booths.
Yeah, I mean, it makes my life easier because if there's only a couple of booths to visit, I like that because then I can go screw around with some of the other stuff that's not drone related, which I'm going to probably do anyways because I like the camera stuff. I like the the lighting. That to me is the important contacts to make is those guys. Not necessarily going to all the drone booths because the drone booths are great, but a lot of times they forget who you are and they just don't put it out. Maybe 00 will be there this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't forget to stop by that booth and the Power Egg version 2, please. I want to see that.
Is there going to be a Power Egg booth?
Who knows? Now, this list for CES, is that public information that you can go online and see everyone that's going to be in attendance, or only?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And what's crazy is when you register for CES, they can see every registrant and their contact information because after once you're approved for your registration, like this week, my email's been flooded with all these invites to these events, and I'm not I got an event, I got an invite for a bidet.
I did that too.
please come stop by our booth and check out this bidet. I mean, I don't know. They're going to provide. Do we get to try this out there, or are they going to provide us samples? I mean, I'll review the bidet.
Free sample.
I mean, that'll be interesting. How does a bidet even work, Eddie?
I know I was in the first time I ever tried one. I was in JFK and went into the VIP lounge because I had some time to kill. Saw that the bathroom had one, and I pressed every button possible, whether it was for a male or female. And let me tell you, that was an experience.
Wow. Wow. I do know. My buddy Kevin, he is an executive with T-Mobile. I've known Kevin for years. He messaged me and he said, "Hey, you want to check out some of our 5G racing drones?" And I said, "Yeah," because they're going to be there. T-Mobile's got their 5G FPV drones that are going to be there. So I think it'd be a cool idea to check that out. So Greg, if you want to check those out, I want to see these things in action because this is the future when it comes to racing. Is these 5G drones? So
Yep.
I think
I
that would be
reported on that.
cool.
Yeah, I reported on that a couple of weeks ago when that came out. Yeah, that sounds exciting. Let's do that.
Yeah. I still, Eddie, bro, you're just killing me tonight, bro.
Yeah, the chat. I just threw up. I'm reading the comments in the chat.
I'm reading the comments too, and I'm just like, I'm laughing inside because it's funny. It's funny because
it's a unique experience. I tell you that. Like,
yeah.
it was interesting.
I got a funny story about that.
What's that? Well, Greg is French, so he knows all about the bidet.
Which is a funny thing because all people say that, but I think there's only one person that I know that ever had a bidet in their house. But when the pandemic hit and then the shortage of TP was around, I was like, screw this, I'm not fighting to get TP. So I did go online and I did buy one. It's an attachment you can buy and you can put in your toilet. So I was like, you know what? If we run out of toilet paper, at least I've got something that I can use.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and that probably makes sense why they became so popular and why they're going to be at CES. I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing to see them, right next to like the Panasonic booth or something. I don't know how many vendors are going to be there. I know we're going to see a lot less companies from overseas because the restrictions on those companies to come into the States and be able to present or even have a booth is crazy. Did you see the restrictions they're imposing?
I get the email today. Yeah,
it's crazy. So obviously you have to have your vaccination to go to CES, which I have that. They're not saying you need the booster, and I'm not putting anything else into me right now. I mean, the next thing I do, it's going to be beer, something harder. So that's that. But they're using the Clear Pass, so you register with your Clear Pass, and that's how they validate all your information, which I think is going to hopefully expedite things. But my goal is this year, because there's going to be less people, I think it may be easier to get a more personalized experience with some of these brands. So some of these lesser known drone companies, maybe I'll have more time to talk with them. But I think what also is going to happen is it's going to weed out the crap because so many, I don't know if you ever went to like CES 2020, Greg. Did you go to CES 2020?
I did not.
So there was all these like really obscure brands of drones that like they should not have been there, right? They just paid for it, but they should not have been there. And they never came of anything. So I'm hoping with the, the restrictions, we see less of that. We see less of these crappy brands.
I agree. And, I mean, you and I know because that's what we got when we were in Vegas a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
That's a great location to have these connections with people and talk one-on-one and, go out to dinner and have a beer and have discussions kind of, behind the scene. And that's what I really enjoy about this, meeting the people in person. And I mean, like you, I remember seeing you walking down the hallway. It was like, oh, that's Dobo. It's high.
Yeah, it's sort of surreal. Like when we were at Commercial UAV, to be able to sit and meet and talk with Vic Moss was like I would have never, if you would have told me I would have got a chance to meet Vic, 2-3 years ago, I would have been like, no, So like to be able to hang out with him and be on good terms with Vic is absolutely awesome. And he's just a lot of fun to be around. You're a lot of fun to be around, and just to be able to go to like the event with the Altel guys and meet all of them individually. And they were fun. Now that was fun to do that. I'm hoping that it's like a repeat of that. We'll see. I've ripped on them pretty hard over the past couple of weeks, but I think it's warranted to the fact that they're not really pushing to get answers out to their fan base. They're not pushing, they need to have better communication.
Yeah, and you're not doing it to be mean. I mean, everything that you provide. I mean, even with the other drone, I think it's hard sometimes to hear the truth, quite frankly.
Right.
I don't think that anybody should be offended by
Well,
any of that.
at
It's
the end of the
it's
day, these
feedback.
are just products. At the end of the day, these are just products, right? So like
Yep.
when we say something, whether it's good or bad, it's got to be taken as constructive, right? Like look at
Mhm.
the Mavic 3, for instance. That was not a complete product at all, right? Not a
Nope.
complete product at all. And when I first got that, I was really sort of like disappointed with with it. Like, here it is. This is the next iteration from the Mavic 2, and I felt like it was a downgrade in a lot of ways. It was funny. I was talking to Eddie yesterday, and he's like flying it. He's like, dude, I cannot figure out this freaking exposure. Like, we're flying it and using it like we normally do. And I think what DJI needs to do with some of these prosumer drones is to provide a little bit more clarity on how you're supposed to use some of these new gammas and like D-Log, for instance. How the hell do you expose that? They don't really say how you need to use it. Like, I feel like if they give like when they first put these out, like whether they hire one of these influencers to say this is how you do it, but that should be like one of the first things that happen, like when they release these things.
Yep.
But now with
Yeah,
the update, it's better.
I'm still annoyed that the new update doesn't have the ability to put a LUT in there.
I know.
The vlog is just so, not the vlog, the D-Log, sorry, I'm putting a sound like
Is
Yeah.
yeah, the D-Log is so flat. I mean, it's Inspire 2 flat, and the Inspire 2 is super flat. And
That's what Eddie said because he's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm pointing to you like that. That's what Eddie
Yeah.
said.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's the first log that I've had a tremendous difficult time just trying to bring it back to Rec 709.
Mhm.
What I was doing when I was out, and I think what messed me up was that native ISO of 400.
400.
Yeah.
I- yeah, so I was out in the field like for a sunrise. I decided to go and shoot in log, and I was looking at the histogram and looking at my EV comp, and I just made sure that I was at one stop over. And then when
Yep.
I came back home, it looked fine on my screen, right? It looks flat. I see the histogram. Everything looks fine. When I came back home and I'm trying to add either Dobo's LUT or the DJI LUT that they provide, I'm still overexposed, and I'm having a tremendous time to bring back the colors and the
Mm.
contrast, and it was difficult. I almost gave up on it.
So
Yeah, I've
what I
been.
found is lowering the overall exposure first by like a stop and a half, and you got it. The only way you can manipulate the log footage after the fact is by using the curves. If you're using any other tool other than the curves, it's going to be very, very difficult to bring that back.
Yep.
What are you gonna say, Greg?
I plug it into the Ninja, and then I just do a LUT preview in the Ninja, and that
Yeah,
helps. And I've been doing this with the Inspire for a while as well, just because I like having the separate screen. But it gets bulky. It just gets bulky. And then this new controller, unfortunately, has the mini
mini.
HDMI out, which
Yeah, that's a
I
pain in
just
the
hate.
ass.
You just gotta have another cable in the bag and everything. So I mean, it's first world problem, but still, it's
Well, yeah,
kind of
but it's is it first world when you like when you do this for a living, when you do this for a living, is it really like a first world problem because it's a utility? We buy these things
yeah.
to be a tool. It's a tool first. So if it can't do what we need it to do and accommodate like its task, then it's a problem. It's not a first world problem. It's a problem to us because that could in some cases affect our income.
Yep.
I know when I was on that shoot in Hawaii, one of the things that the DP kept saying to me is like, he goes, I really need to be able to see what it's going to look like. I can't vision it in my mind. So I had to keep switching to the standard color profile. But then what I
Yep.
had to do is adjust the ISO to try to match the
The final
exposure.
product.
And then when I go back, I had to switch it back. So that was a problem in itself. So I hope they get it. I just learned that the best exposure for the D-Log is directly in the center. I know it's like the weirdest thing. Like I'm not overexposing log, but that's how you get the best results with the
With
D-Log
this
on
one.
the Mavic 3.
Hmm.
That's what I've seen anyways.
Yep.
It almost doesn't make sense. It almost doesn't make sense to film like that, does it?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, the results is good though. I mean, the results are it's a good drone. The image quality is beautiful. I know people have been having issues with how stable it is and how like jerky it is. Mine actually has been super smooth out of the box. First time
Yeah.
I flew it, I was actually amazed. It stops and the camera doesn't do the little wiggle when you stop hard. It just
Yeah.
kind of stops and is smooth, and that was actually a good surprise.
Yeah. So one thing I noticed, so I obviously have had some bad luck with these. I had the first Cine version had really bad horizon tilt, like super bad
Mhm.
horizon tilt. And there was no saving it. Now my first drone was a standard version. I had no horizon tilt, no horizon tilt. So my second standard, I have no horizon tilt as well, and it's working fine. But there's some people complaining of like a vibration in the rear arms. I haven't personally experienced that vibration. Have you, Eddie?
No, the only thing I have on mine is the horizon tilt.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
did
having,
notice that.
yeah, I'm having to correct it in post by like 1 degree.
Oh.
They got to fix that though. I think that that's something that they have to fix. Like you would think like that's not acceptable for, you know, a drone of this caliber, that's not acceptable.
The
Yeah.
Inspire 2 had that issue forever. Still does. You can still buy a newer Inspire 2 and have that issue out of the
I
box.
just can't. I guess I'm so critical on products, but I feel like you have a right to be critical for the products. You know, you're paying for a product, you're buying it. Why
Correct,
would
yeah.
why would you expect or accept anything less than perfect? And the
Mhm.
problem is, this is my biggest problem with a lot of people, like the ones that fan out about a product and they accept mediocrity is the reason why products don't get better. This is why companies are okay with releasing a mediocre product. Stop accepting that when a product releases that it's not correct or it's not a finished product, or if they don't outline, you know, known issues, there should be a known issue like bullet point, like, hey, we know this is a problem, but here, so you are aware, so it doesn't catch you off guard, here are the known issues. Like DJI sort of did that when they released it. They said, hey, these things are not working, but they didn't really outline the known issues. That's my problem with it.
Yep. Well,
Uh,
you become a beta tester, right? And
Yeah.
this is not just in the drone world. Unfortunately, this happens a lot in a lot of places. Have big product that gets released, and then you become the beta tester, and then they may fix it eventually down the line, or they may not, and then you're stuck with it. That sucks.
Did anybody pick up the new? I know Eddie, you bought the new MacBook. Greg, did you buy the new MacBook?
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
So one of the issues I had with the new MacBook is as I started using it, I was getting these errors where it would say the memory was filling, like that the memory was full, and I'm like, wait a second, I know I have more memory here, and I'm like, what the hell? And this would happen over and over a course of time of using it. It would throw out these errors where the memory was
Hmm.
filling. So
Didn't have that. Is that the Max or the Pro?
mine was the Pro. Mine was the Pro version. I know Eddie, you've got the Pro version as well, right? Or did you go Max?
I have the Pro.
You have the Pro. Have you seen that error on yours?
I have not, but I haven't spent a lot of time on mine either.
Yeah. Yeah. So I noticed like with Real Steady and any app that's not really fully optimized for, you know, the M1 system, but it's like for me, it's like a lot of apps aren't going to optimize for M1. You know, they're just
Not yet.
not. And you can't
Yep.
expect them to. And if it's part of your previous workflow, if you were an Intel user, you can't like me personally, I feel like Apple handled this migration to a new chipset entirely wrong. But what do I know? I'm not a $1 trillion company, $3 trillion company. So what do I know? But I feel like that it was just like almost too soon for them to jump to making those changes. I could be wrong though. Could be wrong.
I, yeah, you know, they did the same thing when they switched to Intel. I don't know if you were, I was a Mac user back then when they switched to
Yeah.
Intel, and we had the same growing pains back then. I think I got the first Intel MacBook and then eventually get better. So I think it's just a matter of time, especially with the jump in performance that we got from this to the previous, Intel chips. I think a lot of companies are going to start to put money into developing and making sure that they can use all that power, because for them at the end of the day it looks good because their software is going to perform
Right.
better. I mean, I use Final Cut. We use Final Cut in the office. All of our flow is in ProRes now, and it's just a beauty. This the M1 Max with the the ProRes chip in it is just so fast. And for me, the workflow just makes sense. It makes it so much easier now. We can do what we did in the past in a fraction of the time. So it's
Right.
just awesome.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I've been pretty happy with using Final Cut when I have had to use it, but I mean, I've just gotten so accustomed to Premiere's workflow and the fact that I can copy projects from one machine to the next, or like for instance, if I need to send something to one of my employees, I can copy it to an SSD, hand it to them. They can open that project now and all the contents of that project and be able to use it. So I mean, that's a huge thing for me, at least, to have something like that.
Greg,
Yeah, we do that with libraries.
Are you shooting ProRes on the Mavic? On the Mavic 3?
Yeah. And that's what that was part of the reason why I wanted to get the Mavic 3, not only to test it, but to make it part of our workflow. We get all the drones, we test them, and some of them just sit on the shelf, and some of them we use for shooting content. And the Mavic 3 is definitely going to be our first camera for doing most of everything. We use the Inspire when we can, but sometimes we got to travel. We go hiking, and when we go hiking, we can't really. I have a backpack for the Inspire too, but it just gets bulky.
Yeah.
So we've been taking the Air 2S mostly to do a lot of the background video. When we do a deep dive for a drone, we use the Air 2S, and then we just shoot outside content of the drone in itself. But now I think the Mavic 3 is going to replace that. I'm a little sad about the zoom on the Mavic 3. I was expecting something closer to what we have actually on the Air 2S, because it's beautiful. We can just zoom in a tiny little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, but I can zoom in, get a closer shot of the drone without getting super close to the drone, especially when it's a little windy outside. So I think the zoom is, quite frankly, a little useless on the Mavic 3. Hopefully they give us full manual control eventually of that lens. But I'd love to have just a non-digital zoom, an optical zoom, and be able to control the aperture and be able to record it in ProRes. But right now it's not happening. It's sad.
1 second, Greg. If y'all say Kenny one more motherfucking time, I'll ban you from the chat. Say Kenny one more fucking time. My name is fucking Ken. My driver's license, Ken. My name is fucking Ken. You say Kenny one more motherfucking time. Say it. Say it one more motherfucking time.
Actually,
I'll ban you. I will ban you. Thank you.
There's a Kenny in there. There's a Kenny in the chat, though.
Oh, I see. Kenny Kobe. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll allow it. Okay.
I'll allow it.
I fucking hate that. I hate that name. I hate the word. I hate the name Kenny. I fucking despise it. Like, I hate it. Not like, if your name is Kenny, that's fine. That's your name. That's not my name. My name is Ken. Fucking guys. So,
I think DJI is going to surprise us with a firmware for that camera, though. I just, I'm hopeful that they are going to release some sort of update where it's going to make it maybe sharper, right? Whether it's something that's happening in the processing power of the Mavic. And I think that we'll have, more controls in terms of maybe the frame rates, the focusing needs to improve on it, right? Because I tried it the other day for that sunrise flight. I was focusing in on something and it couldn't focus at all.
They've made some improvement to that app. I know a lot of people don't like the app, but I didn't at first, but I've grown to actually like it. So I hope you're right. I hope they keep kind of improving and adding more stuff. I was surprised today. I was changing the white balance, and then I noticed that it switches back to full screen when you change the white balance, and it gives you an actual preview rather than having a whole lot of content on the screen. It actually slides and it shows you what's going on. So that was a good surprise, actually. And then I tell you another thing I love. I know we're not talking about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. The smart controller, the fact that you can actually record the screen on the smart controller. For me, it's a big deal because we do tutorials, obviously.
That is a good thing.
Yeah, you have the ability. It's so flawless. You just click, and actually it records the tap on the screen as well. We spend so much time in post adding little bubbles of where we tap on the screen to tell people. So now it's all in there. So thank you, DJI. I know you're listening.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the performance of the smart controller either.
No.
So that's a nicety that they made the processor strong enough, fast enough to be able to record the screen and not like overheat. Because if I tried doing that on the previous generation smart controller, it would get very laggy. It wasn't like, I've tried and I was like, I've stopped doing that since, but now I don't care because I'm like, oh, it's perfect.
And it's 720. It was 720, not 1080 actually. So it's, you know what we did? We had to get, this is so complicated because we need to record the screen. So we did the Ninja 5 and then we would record from the Ninja 5, except anytime you touch the screen on the smart controller on the old one, it would actually stop the recording on the Ninja 5. So we had to get a device in between the Ninja 5 to stabilize the footage and then send it to the Ninja from the smart controller. So we had actually a cable going into that. That had to be powered by USB, and then another HDMI cable going into the Ninja 5. Ninja 5 having to be powered itself. It becomes this gigantic thing just to record the freaking footage from from the smart controller. So I'm glad this really saved us quite a bit of time.
I mean, I think they'll continue to improve the camera. I know right now there's like a lot of speculation around it about the detail. People seem to believe that it's not as sharp, which I think that detail and sharpness are two different things as far as the camera goes. But I think something that really hinders the quality that you get from the Mavic 3 is how wide that lens is. Like, it's a pretty wide lens. Like, it's a micro four thirds sensor, and then it has this lens that is just the field of view. If they would have made the field of view as wide as, let's say, an Air 2S or the same comparable sizing, I think that would have been better. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost in the sauce, that they believe that there's a lack of detail, and it's more or less it's the wideness of that lens. Because with wide angle lenses, unless if you're at like f8, at least on APS-C cameras and even on full frame cameras doing real estate, you're going to lose sharpness, and you're also going to lose sharpness and detail in the corners. And I think that's where that suffers a little bit too. I don't think there's going to be anything they can do to fix that, unless if they make lens mods, which that would be pretty awesome.
I'm actually wondering if there is more to it. I wonder if, most cameras have additional sharpness that's done at the software level before you even download the footage. And I wonder if, because you're recording, you have the ability to record in ProRes and doing all that, then it's taking away some of that computing power, and they're not applying the sharpness filters on top of it. But I don't know. I'm not a computing guy, so I don't know how much the sharpness
I look
is
at it this way. I rather add the sharpness in post. Like, I rather add the sharpness, because sometimes I'm like, man, look at the fringing, and it just looks really crunchy and looks terrible. So for me personally, I'm okay with not having sharpness added in the image. I much rather do that in post, but that's me. I'm like, I may be the minority with that, but I think what they, a lot of people that are buying the Mavic 3, are probably like, that borderline amateur professional. Maybe they're the same way. I mean, if sharpness is of an amazing amount of concern to you, buy the Air 2S. That's just pretty simple, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great drone anyway, Air 2S.
What's going on here in the chat here? So let's see. I'm seeing some shit happen.
I'm seeing Kenny in the chat.
Yeah, I see that. I'm looking. DJI Mavic 3 is not a pro class drone. It's an unfinished, untested, overpriced product. It's only overpriced if you can't afford something, by the way. So sold to suckers. So somebody who buys that is like, listen. Let me break it down for you. If you can't afford something, you're obviously going to get pissed that it's overpriced, right? That's right. If I wanted a BMW, but I can only afford a Pinto, then the BMW is expensive. But it's not sold to suckers. It's sold to somebody who wants it, who has a need for it. I look at drones like tools, right? Drones are tools to me. Mm-hmm. I don't look at them as like, I don't collect them. I use them. And if I break one, it's a tool. When you're a kid and you're in class and you have to sharpen your pencils because your pencil's dull. And if you break a pencil, you grab a new pencil. End of the day, that pencil is a tool. You don't collect pencils. I know it's a pencil. It's like probably 2 cents, but hopefully you understand. Same thing with paintbrushes. They have an expiration date. They're a utility. They're a tool to get a certain purpose done. Same thing with drones. Cell phone's not a tool, but it could be a tool. Cameras are the same way. Cameras have a life expectancy. If I blow a shutter out on a camera, it's because I'm using that camera for its intended purpose. I fully expect that it's going to break, and it would need to be replaced. So now, with that said, I agree that the Mavic 3 wasn't the completest product, but at the end of the day, it being incomplete, it's still more complete than every other manufacturer that's on the market today.
Yeah, and I think you got to think about what is really a pro drone. I mean, is the Air 2S, can it be a pro drone? Is the Mavic 2 Pro a pro drone? I mean, you use it to make money, right? You're a professional.
Right.
That's really the definition. So I think the original Mavic Pro, I don't know if it was a pro drone. The quality was really not there, especially at 60 megabit per
Right.
second. But when you start getting into, I would even argue that the Air 2S is pro level. I'm a professional. I do this for a living. I use it to make video content, and you know what? We make money off of it. So it is a professional drone, and it works. I don't know
Right.
that I would do this with a Mini 2, but you know what? Per level, it's really whatever fits your needs. To me, I look at the Mavic 3 as a hybrid between the Air 2S that we've been using quite a bit, the 2 Pro we've been using quite a bit, and then the Inspire 2, which is bulky and of course has better stuff because I can change lenses. I can put a 45 mil on there and I can get a lot closer. But the Mavic 3 it has its place. It's right in between.
Right.
I still have the ProRes for my workflow. If you don't use ProRes, then it probably is not the drone for you. The Mavic 3 standard is probably just fine. I know, Ken, you did a video on that.
I don't
Yeah.
think you need the ProRes. Like, and I've even used the ProRes. And Eddie was telling me the one night he was trying to transfer. He was running and they said they fixed this. I haven't tested this personally. Eddie, have you tested this since the second update?
Yes, it's fixed.
Okay, cool. Because there was an issue where if you were trying to transfer, let's say, more than 5 files, and those files equaled out to, let's say, more than 100 gigs, which it's ProRes, it will be. You couldn't transfer those files because it would actually start crashing or disconnecting from the Mavic, and that was like, I was like, all right, well, what's the point of you doing this? It's silly.
I switched cables. Go ahead.
I think it was overheating and it was disconnecting.
Yeah.
And it would stop and you will have to restart.
I switched cables. I'm using this thick Apple cable for data.
Oh, the lightning cable?
Yeah, I get better transfer rates using.
I found out the Apple cable has better transfer rates than the DJI provided cable. Not by much, but it is slightly better. It is slightly better, which is fine.
It's significant enough if you do a lot of recording that it saves a little bit of time.
But you know what kept me from filming in ProRes was the noise. Like, there was a lot of noise, especially in low light situations. If it was daylight out, no noise, but there was a lot of noise. I haven't compared it.
I'm hearing that the new update they added, I couldn't find it, but there's an option now if you shoot ProRes to do ProRes with noise reduction.
Oh, is that what it is? ProRes with noise reduction?
Yeah, it's new now with the new update, but I couldn't find it. I was digging through the menu as much as possible and I couldn't find it, but it's out there supposedly.
I gotta go try that.
I gotta try it once I get the Cine version back. The problem, obviously mine went out for repair. They identified the issue and they said it was a bad gimbal, so they just exchange it. They'll fix that unit and they'll send me another unit. But I don't see the point really in needing to shoot ProRes. Like, there isn't like a massive quality difference unless you're filming something that is super high speed, like something where there's an object moving faster and you need to capture every single frame. Like, if you're filming like a speedboat or a moving vehicle and you need every single frame, that would be the only time I say that ProRes is really necessary, because it captures more frames. It captures more information than H.265 or even H.264. That's the only time.
Yeah. I think for me, it's for the lots and stuff we can do in post, getting a little bit more out of it in post. But I know a good place where we can test it in January, Ken.
Where's that?
Downtown LA, downtown Vegas.
Oh, we got a waiver?
There's a lot of lights there. We don't need a waiver.
Well, there is, but I think there is spots on the strip, like, where the Trump tower is there. That is outside the zero grid authorization. So technically,
I haven't even looked at it.
Yeah, so technically you can launch there, and as long as you're near the tower or the highest object, you're going to be fine, because the choppers are going to be flying higher than that, and we're going to be near that. So that's an authorization. We're good there.
Let's do it. I'll bring it, and then
if the FAA says you're allowed to fly there, then you're allowed to fly there.
I mean, we could submit a request too and request to fly in there. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I mean, we can just submit a request and then see if they let us go. I plan on flying the desert. I've done this the past couple of years. I like to rent a car, but you're going to be driving out from Arizona, right?
Yep.
So maybe we can just take a trip out somewhere into
Oh,
the
heck yeah.
mountains somewhere and go fly one of the days that we're not going to CES and just run some comparison tests out there. I think that would be actually pretty cool. I love the
I know.
colors that you get out of the desert. Like you can't get a bad image.
Yeah, I know what we can do. I'll bring the Octozilla that we built, and then we'll put a bunch of drones on it, and we'll do some comparative footage.
Okay, we could. Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it, dude. That's
We'll
one of
make
the
a fun day.
benefits of living close. You can just like we can do these things. That's going to be awesome to be able to do those things. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm yeah, I'm reading the chat. They're just going
The
nuts.
chat is the chat is on
They're
fire.
messing that dude up. Yo, Hal 9000. You're Hal 0 now, bro, because you can't even comment because the brew crew just fucked you up, man. How does that feel? You're gonna feel those band hammers till tomorrow morning, bro. My recommendation, if you already haven't consulted your physician, is to drink a beer, sit back, and just realize you can't comment because they banned you because that's what happens.
I'm sure he's in the process of creating a new account.
Yeah, he's
just
trying
to
to
come back at Lon.
No, yeah.
Oh,
Lon,
is that your fan?
Yeah, Lon just banning them down. But that's what happens, though. That's what happens in those instances. All right, let's shift gears here because I did want to go ahead and bring this up while we have it on stream. So, Triple Tech. You guys remember this? Triple Tech 7. This is the Triple Tech 7 tablet. This was the tablet that a lot of people bought when they were wanting a high brightness monitor. Well, we did something. We finally got it ready to go. So, this will be available. Tomorrow. This is the minimal mount now for the Triple Tech. Now, I want to go ahead and make mention that this is not going to work the same way that it does on the Triple Tech 8 because the Triple Tech 8 is a very narrow device. I had to make these nubbies that clip onto the Triple Tech device. So we made these little nubbies and they clip and then it clips into your mount. So it's still a very minimal design, but now they clip in there and it works exactly how it should. If you have the minimal amount for the Triple Tech 8-inch, it's going to be the same thing on the Triple Tech 7. So we're going to be releasing that. We're going to be releasing that soon. We're going to be releasing that tomorrow, hopefully. I don't know if I'll get it out, but we'll probably get it out tomorrow. So if anybody has the Triple Tech 7, there you go. Everybody felt like we were neglecting the 7-inch tablet, and I still think it's fine. It's perfectly usable. My mind still works and still functions perfectly. So I will be releasing that. So
Greg has no comment because he only flies with Ninja V's.
Right? How bougie?
I hate to
how
say
bougie?
I don't have one. I hate to say it. So yeah, I've been seeing all your content about it, so it makes me want to buy one, but I don't know that I have a need for it.
It was before the Pro Controller came out, and I didn't know if I was going to buy the Cine version. I was like, this is a good solution because I needed something bright, and the Triple Tech 8 works great. The Triple Tech 7 works fine too. I had some issues with the Triple Tech 7 with the Autel drones, but I got to be honest, I really haven't flown the Autel drones in a long while. I have not used my Autel drones, gosh, and maybe it's been about 4 weeks now. Maybe 2 weeks.
Yep.
I think what happens is a lot of times you buy all these drones and you find one of the drones that's all of a sudden your favorite drone and you fly it. You fly that drone.
Yep.
So,
or you fly FPV. My team has been building me a bunch of FPVs because they know I'm too lazy to build them. So they're like, you need to try this. So I've just been going back and forth between a whole bunch of FPVs, and it's been fun.
I haven't flown. Well, I take that back. I flew a gig on Saturday, but I really haven't flown for fun because if I don't have a spotter, I don't want to risk it anymore. Like I'm honestly, and we talked about this the other week, I'm honestly gun shy to fly with, to just fly. Like even if I have a spotter, I have to then introduce that spotter so that way like people can say, okay, yeah, you have a spotter. Like, that's so stupid? That's such a stupid thing to have to do. But yeah, that's what I have to do.
Move to Prescott. We'll take care of you up here. We got plenty of spotters.
Arizona sounds like a great place to live. And if it sounds like a great place to live, and there's a lot of scenery there. There's not a lot of scenery here in Florida. But Yeah, I mean that's such an odd thing. I think that rule needs to really sort of go away, though. Like,
Well, if you listen to Vic keeps saying for now. So I hope Vic is. I know Vic is working to make this happen at the DAC level. So
yeah.
hopefully we get some good news in the future.
What's your thoughts on flying without a spot, like without a spotter for FPV though? Like from a safety perspective, do you feel like the spotter does a lot? Do you
I
feel
think
like
it
they do
depends on the
enough?
situation.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. I mean, I know where you fly. I see where you fly. You fly in kind of open spaces, away from
Right.
people,
Yep.
away from, you fly below tree level, below tree tops. And we do the same here, quite frankly. I fly in the mountains quite a bit. And when we fly, we always have something higher than we are by several
Correct.
hundred feet because we have hills all over us. So the chance, think about why the FAA put this regulation in place. They put it in place because they want to make sure you can see an aircraft coming and you can avoid them, which I understand. Okay, the concept makes sense. The practicality of things is that this may work in a very open area, but once you start getting around mountains, once you start getting below trees, then it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So
Right.
it's 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 always kind of the same issue with the FAA, and it's there's a concept and then there's the actual real life
Right.
situation, and it doesn't always match. Remote ID is the same thing, quite frankly. So it needs to change. I think there needs to be exceptions depending on how high you fly. We need to define navigable airspace,
We need a sheltered operation, I think.
Yep, sheltered ops, exactly. Sheltered
I
ops
think
will make
if
sense.
you're below the tallest object within a certain circumference around that object, that I think that would constitute as a sheltered operation. Because I've scoured I scoured the internet like looking at like all these FPV pilots, and I sat there like even like the big guys like Steele and like Drib and all of them. And I think to myself, I'm like, I wonder how many times that they've had to have the same conversation with an FAA inspector asking them, hey, did you have a spotter? Did you have this in place? Like a lot of times, like you get this urge that you just want to go fly and you just grab all your gear and you go to a spot where nobody's at. Like a lot of the places I go, it's abandoned. There's more risk for me, like me as an individual, than it is for me to hurt somebody with that quad because somebody can sneak up on me and say, hey, give me all your money, asshole. I mean, at that point, I'd be like, hang on a second. Can you hold on for 2 seconds? I'm going to fly this back over me. I'm going to slam it into your head. No, I would do that if a gun was to my head. But you know what I mean? Like there's more danger for you as an individual than there is for you hurting somebody else, I would think in a lot of instances. So it'd be awesome to see that change because then it would make flying fun again. Because right now it's like sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to fly. And I will admit I didn't have all of my FAA numbers on all of my quads, but like this is what I've been doing for the past like 5 days, a label maker, and just making sure all of my registration numbers are visible and anything that's torn apart, I'm printing out a new registration number, putting it on the quad. I will tell you that's sort of a pain in the ass. Sort of a
Hey,
pain in the
Ken,
ass. What?
we have free stickers to put on your drone, right?
What do you mean you got free stickers?
We
I
have
just
a program where we
I just
offer
spent
free.
like you what?
Yeah, we offer free. I can't believe you don't know that. We offer free registration stickers to anyone that wants them. I'll send you a link.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Pilotinstitute.com/free. Anyone who's out there.
So
And
I
we
don't
send
need a.
them.
So what you're saying is nobody needs to buy a label maker.
No, you can send that back to Radio Shack. It's all good.
Radio Shack.
I know that's where
I'll
you bought it. I'm sorry,
I'll send
the
it.
Shack.
I'll
The
send it back
Shack.
to. I'll send it back to Amazon. I'll send it back to Amazon.
We bought this beautiful printer that's in our office right now, and we do stickers several times a week. We send them over. We just sent 260 stickers yesterday, I think. So yeah,
Dude,
and
dude,
they're
I was
beautiful.
printing. I was like this, Greg, today, and I'm like, and I get it all in. I'm like, and then I'm like, print. And then I look at the sticker. I'm like, shit, I've got 2 6s in there. I'm like, do it again. And my finger kept like, I don't know what it was. Like the way my thumbs were, I kept hitting the 6 and 7, like sometimes twice. And I printed again. I look, I'm like, shit, it's still wrong. I was losing my mind on one of the stickers. So yeah,
I'll
label
send you a
maker.
link tomorrow.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
I'll
Yeah.
send you a
So,
link tomorrow.
yeah, send me a link. I'll put it in the, if you're watching this tomorrow, which is today, which is now tomorrow today, I'll have a link in the description. So if somebody else is interested in stickers, there you go. Why buy a sticker?
Yeah,
That's
all
awesome
free.
that you do that, man. I think that's awesome.
Well,
I
you
was
want to hear the
talking,
funny story behind it?
yeah, let's hear the funny story behind that.
The funny story is that we realize that every single week we have students that tell us that they get roped into this scheme of getting their sticker um, from this registration place, right? And they spend
Uh,
$60 registering their drone, and then they get a free
yeah,
sticker out of it. And so we decided that we were going to do free stickers to help bring awareness to the fact that registration is $5 on the FAA drone zone, and that's the only place you get your registration. So we offer free stickers to bring awareness to people.
nice. Well, that makes a good, it makes good sense to me. And I know a lot of people always tell me that they're using your course, and I mean, I see it. I see when somebody registers because it tells you somebody registered for a course or somebody purchased the course. So I think that's pretty damn cool, though. Like I
Well,
said, I love seeing Pilot Institute grow because I think that like what you're building there specifically is something special, and it's a little more it's a little more grassroots. I've talked to like all these other guys that come up big and they're like drone pilot ground school, remote pilot 101. And I always felt like those guys were not as approachable when it comes to like talking about certain things. I mean, they seem cool on the surface, but then when you approach them, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's the everyday person. You know what I mean? And that's
mhm.
what I think is important. Like when I look at Pilot Institute, I see the everyday person. I see the everyday pilot.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so damn cool about you guys. So Greg, I appreciate you, man, coming through tonight, coming on the stream, hanging out with us, chatting.
Love it.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, I'm. It's funny because we go to these shows and I have people coming to me, and this is not something that I'm used to. I have people coming to me and shaking my hand, say, "You've never seen me, but I watch your show every week. I do this." Kind of feels funny to me. It's like, I don't know. It's just odd. I do it because I love it. I love flying my drone. I love flying airplane. I love everything that flies, quite frankly. So I'm glad it comes across as this because that's what I do. I just love it.
well, Greg, I appreciate you coming on the show tonight, brother.
Well,
Nice
thanks for
seeing you,
having
Greg.
me.
Yeah, man. We'll see you next time, brother.
All right, sounds good. See you guys.
Take care, Greg.
So Greg is the type of guy that this is how I think of Greg. He's the type of person where I think that if you broke down in the parking lot and you needed a battery, like your battery was dead, he wouldn't jump you off. He wouldn't jump start your car. He would go down the street to the automotive store and buy you a battery for your car. Like
Yeah,
that's the type of person like I think he is. Like he would like because like somebody would be expected, oh yeah, they can jump me off, but he would be like, no. The average person would expect to be jumped off. I'm gonna put a battery in this person's car. So
mhm.
there's a difference between him and others. So I think that's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, he's a
So
great guy. Yeah,
great guy.
and he's building his brand and reputation the right way. He's very involved with the community.
Well, it's and again, it's grassroots. Like I look at all these shows, like there's these, we have so many like channels that do these live streams, and you said it to me the other day. You're like, what did you say to me, Eddie? You said, when does he have time? How does he make time?
Yeah, I said, how does a CEO of a company like Pilot Institute how do they have the capacity to be on all these live streams and never
But I
say
told
no?
you he's smart. He built a team early, so he built a team early. So, but that's half the battle. You can't do it alone. You got to build a team. You got to build a team that makes you stronger. So
Yeah.
that's again, that's why I hired you, Eddie.
I can't wait.
Even though you're late today, we'll forgive that. I mean, uh, but I
I
give it.
was here when the stream started.
You're right. You're
I
right. You're
want
absolutely technical
every
difficulties.
dollar in that bonus envelope.
So I guess now let's go ahead and jump into the chat. We'll take some questions before we call it a night because I am, I've had a bad week, dude. I've had a bad week, and it's only Wednesday, if you can imagine.
Yeah, same here. I think on
Good.
different levels, but
Yeah.
it's just been this week has been a shit show.
I spent, I was at the dealership from 8 a.m. this morning till about 6:30 tonight. Actually, I take that back. I did drive back to the studio for a little bit, but then I had to drive right back. So, man, damn.
Did you drive back in the minivan or something else?
I did not drive back in a minivan. I did not. I ended up so for those of you guys that don't know, Saturday I had a gig. I was flying FPV for a client, and upon leaving the shoot, I left the shoot. I got in my Jeep and I started driving down the road, and the Jeep just completely quit on me. Went like it just died. And the dealership calls me on Tuesday and they told me, Mr. Dono, we got some good news and bad news for you. I said, all right, well, tell me the good news. And they said, well, we know what's wrong with your Jeep. And I said, all right, well, what's the bad news? And they said that the high pressure fuel rail on your diesel system blew apart. I said, oh, damn. Well, how long does that take to fix? They said, well, that's the bad news. It blew a bunch of metal shavings into your fuel system, and the entire fuel system will need to be replaced. And a lot of the parts are on back order. You're going to be without that vehicle for about 40 to 60 days. And I was like, fuck this. I was like, I wasn't having it, dude. I wasn't having it. So I ended up today. I ended up trading the vehicle. So I ended up trading the vehicle for another Jeep. I'm not a diesel, but it pisses me off because I did so much work to that truck, dude. Man, I put so much time and money into the way it was. It was quite literally, it was a $50,000 mistake. It was a $50,000 mistake. So, and I'm just like, I'm still, I haven't processed how much I actually lost by trading it because of, the work that we did to it. But I'm trying not to think of it because I mean, I've lost more money doing stupider things, but very painful, very, very painful. Pissed, very pissed. So, yeah, and that thing wasn't even a year old. So very annoying day. But you know what? There's worse shit, right? There's worse shit that could happen. I could have no vehicle. I did have a minivan. My daughter thought the minivan was the coolest thing in the world, like because I had the slidey doors and I could click a button. And what I wanted to do, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a fanny pack and get the really high shorts, like above my knee shorts, and the socks, the tube socks. And I was going to wear like one of the wife beater shirts, and I was going to shave I'm still going to shave my mustache, but I'm going to give it like a really classic porn stash. I felt like if you're driving a minivan, that is how you would look if you're a father. That's how I would look if I was a dad. I would have the porn stash, the short shorts, maybe the mustard stain. Like I ate a hot dog, but it didn't make it in my mouth. I was at a Sonic. I was drinking a cherry limeade, and I would need aviators. Obviously. So, I'm probably still going to do that. I'm still going to
vanity plates.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that is what I'm considering right there. So I love minivans. Minivans are the best. There's 4 doors. You know what you can do with 4 doors, Eddie?
What?
What can you do with 4 doors?
You can power loop it with an FPV.
No, what can you fit with 4 doors, Eddie?
I don't know.
Just more stuff, Eddie. Just more stuff. Come on.
That's true. But now you have more space than 4 doors.
Yeah, 4 doors. Now I have more space. Yes, I have a trunk.
Yeah.
I have a trunk. I have a frunk. No, I don't have a frunk. I don't have an electric vehicle. I would love Take Flight says you could fit more whores. Oh wow, that's original. Damn, that he just like took that to another level. Wow. I was just, the minivan was cool. Like I was contemplating taking it to the mountains, the minivan, because I'm like, you know what? I could just put the miles on this rental car. Like that, I just put the miles on that. But I couldn't wrap my mind around it. Like sometimes you realize, man, you work too hard to say like, yeah, that's okay, that's acceptable. So
right.
But you know what? Some things happen for a reason. So some things happen for a reason. So we let it happen, and you just roll with the punches. But it's going to be a better month. Again, next Wednesday, we have our Christmas party. I would say if everybody could wear a candy cane shirt, that would be amazing. The attire is red, white, and green. It is Christmas. You also could be Italian. I don't know. Or Mexican. We're just appealing to everybody. I don't know. We say a lot of inappropriate things that offend people. Eddie, you got anything else said?
No.
Okay. No? Okay, so Xmas party, we're gonna have eggnog. I'm just looking forward to having a wholesome conversation. Profanity will, yeah, no cursing though, guys. No cursing at the Christmas party. It's company policy.
I'll bring the cannoli.
Eddie's gonna bring the cannoli. I'm gonna bring eggnog, and I'm gonna probably bring like I don't know. Do you like dip, Eddie? Like a dip, like a dip. So all right, I'll bring a dip, and we're gonna have a great time, guys.
Oh my god!
All right, I'm gonna hit this outro. Eddie, you ready for this outro, brother?
Let's do it.
All right, bro, let's do it.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night with.
I know I'm live, can't get me.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Maybe I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusion and reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. Just drinking themselves crazy tonight. Maybe I should call and say, told you I'd be right. Wondering how long it was before you realized the biggest mistake of your life, and now you're paying the price. Oh, is it confidence or confusion? Either way, I feel like I ain't never losing. Your opinion of mine, you know just what I'm choosing. I gotta do this, cause I can't.
Why was Joe Fotello timed out? I'm curious. Why was he timed out? Can anybody answer me? I'm curious on this. Why was he timed out? No, pick me. No. He said F you. F me? F me. Joe Fotello said F me. Why he say F me? Well, I can't ask Joe. Let me look. Fuck off. Who's he talking to? Is his account hacked? I'm gonna add him as a moderator. Why would he say fuck off? Who's he saying fuck off to? I'm trying to go back all the way up. I'm looking because Joe's been in this chat for a long time. He's even in the Brew Crew. Oh, he said I drive a minivan. I fucking love it. I dubbed it the man van. I agree. I'm not a minivan person, but I don't have anything against minivans. There was once upon a time, like I banged my wife in a minivan one time. It was great. Plenty of leg room. It was spacious. There was cup holders. So if you got thirsty, you can grab a cup from over here. You had a cup over here. I was always hydrated. I love minivans. Never once did I say I hate a minivan. Joe, I love minivans, bro. I am on your level. Listen. There are minivan people and there are people that don't drive minivans. I'm not saying that I don't like I have nothing against soccer moms. I'm an equal opportunity type of person. I mean, Greg says he drives a minivan sometimes. Listen, guys, I don't want you to hate anybody because of what they drive and if they have more cup holders than you or they have more access than you. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just pilots. I want you to hug each other. I want you guys to right now, this is the bonus clips. I want you to look into the mirror. I want you to look into the mirror. I want you to give yourself a hug, okay? Because you right there, you watching this chat right here, you're a beautiful person. You can have blue eyes, brown eyes, green eyes. Fuck, you can even have red eyes. I don't know. But you're a beautiful person. Right now, I am a tad bit buzzed. I've had a bit to drink, but we know how the show goes. You come here for this. You know what you're here for. Some reason I hear, who's that guy? Who is he? Who is he? You know who I'm talking about? He does, like, he always narrates things. He's like, and it was 7 years ago. But no, you should hug yourself. I want you to all have a Merry Christmas in case we don't speak again, but you'll be at the Christmas party. Anyways, you guys are all amazing people. And that's right, Morgan Freeman. Thank you, B-Man. Morgan fucking Freeman. God bless it anyways. Don't grab anybody's butt. If you're hugging yourself, you grab your butt only. That's the rules. That's the rules. Why is there even 107 people still here for this? What's wrong with you guys? No, but seriously, you guys are good.
I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams.